Hey guys, little video about Teen Awards I went to on Sunday. A lot of you were asking about like what happened and if I could write a One Direction experience, but I'm not very good at writing things, so I thought I'd just say it. Okay, wow. So yeah, it was on Sunday, so Sunday 7th I think? Yeah, 7th of October. And my friend picked me up about 9:45 AM-ish. And we got there, we had to travel from, I live in the West Country, and we had to travel to London, obviously, London Wembley Arena. And we got about 11:30, and we got out and there was just gas everywhere, and it was insane. And then there was like this red carpet, there's like the arena, and we walked out, and we came up by the we entered like Wembley, like by the red carpet bit, and there was this big line, there was like a strip, and then down here was like, where they had the picture taken by press, and then they came in from this way and went down the big like thing, and that's where everyone stood along there, and they went past in the car and things. And I got there, and the only way I could get from here to like over by the entrance was to walk in the road. And I was walking in the road, and then like security was like, "Oh, get out of the way, get out of the way," because like the cars coming in. Conor Maynard's car just drove past me. And I was like, "Oh my god!" And then got run over by Conor Maynard, and then we oh yeah. And then I lost my friends I was with, but then I called my sister Amy, and I was like, "Oh, where are you?" And then we was trying to find her for ages, and that's when I heard like people saying, "Oh, Danny, hey, like I follow you," and like Tumblr and things. And I'm like, "Oh, hi," and I was like, it was really nice to talk to people. And then I saw my old friend Kira and things like that I hadn't seen. I didn't know she was going, so that was amazing. See some new and old faces, and then yeah, so I found my sister Amy, and I don't get to see very often because we don't live together. And we saw this giant block thing outside Wembley Arena, like a fountain kind of thing, I don't know what it is, but I couldn't really see much. And then we found a gap in the barrier of the red carpet, and we got in there, and then all the cars like came down past us and then like stopped like just over there. And I just saw, in one car everyone was screaming, and this car like stopped as it was coming in, but you can't see through the side windows because they're all like blacked out, but I could see through the front windscreen, and I couldn't see any of the other boys, I could just see Harry, and Harry was just sat there, and was looking through the windscreen at us, and I was like, "Harry, Harry," like being a total idiot. And then he was like that, and I was like, "Oh my god." Then they drove past, and I was like waving, and then they got out, and they met some fans, but they didn't come down as far as us, so I didn't get to meet them. And yeah, and then Taylor Swift goes past, but she goes out, she's in like the silver car thing, and she goes really slow, and she has her window down, and she like waved, well, we had this banner saying "I Heart Taylor Swift," and she went past, and she like waved, and we're like, "Oh my god," our banner, and I was like, I nearly died. And okay, yeah, and then after a while we saw that other people like Neo and people like that go past, and it was really cool. And then we decided that it was time to go inside, and the rest of our friends are inside, so we decided to go in. And yes, we got in there, got things like t-shirts, things like that, and then we sat down, and that was really cool. And we had a really good view, and like the stage was like there, and it went back. We were like 2 blocks of siding up, and it was amazing. I was right in the aisle as well, so it was really good. And then I got to meet some lovely people there, and yeah, and they were sat right by us. They were really nice, and then yeah, the show started, and then Grimmy came on, and I love Grimmy, and it was just hilarious. And then there's like fireworks and things, and I was like, yeah. And then oh yeah, and the whole of the Queen was doing Gangnam Style together, and it like synchronised. It was the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Everyone was like doing a little dance, and I'm not gonna do it for you. It was so good. Oh yeah, and then it so started, and then literally we were like a few minutes into the show, and then Green was like, "Oh, we've got some delivery boys," and then just out walks One Direction. They just walk out on stage, and I was like, "What? I'm not prepared for this." I was like, "Well, like, yeah," and everyone Pace's whole went mental. And they were stood there, and the boys just couldn't hear whatsoever. They were like, "What? What?" 'Cause it's just so loud. And then they went off, and then there was and then we had loads of really good acts. It was like Fun, Conor Maynard, Neo, some other people. No, who was after Neo? Well, Little Mix. They were really good. Oh, it was amazing. And then then we had like Taylor Swift, and then Taylor was just amazing. And then One Direction won 3 awards. Every time they won, they came on stage. And the whole place like erupted every time, because I like saw them like quite a few times that day. And they came out, and then Niall was just like, yeah, like, punch in the air and like running around. It was so cute. And then yeah, and then it was time for One Direction last act on, because they were headlining it. And then I was like stood there, and then I was like in the aisle, but the girls like next to me and my sister were like pushing us along, so I had to step onto the aisle, and the aisle was like up above us, so I had to step onto it, so I was like above everyone else. It was the weirdest thing ever. And the boys came on, they sang Up All Night, and that was crazy because everyone was just like jumping around. And then, no, they didn't sing, they sang One Thing, I'm sorry. They sang One Thing first, and that was amazing. And then they sang Up All Night. No, yeah, that's when they sang Up All Night. And they came, and it was we were so close. And then they sang Moments, and they had this giant like this thing that came out from the ceiling. It had like 1D and it had these big blocks, and they each sat on one, and it suddenly started lifting up, and like just like coming right close. And I was like so close, and I was like, what? And we were like waving around and stuff. I was waving, and Harry like waves at me, and I was like, oh, because I'm like higher up than everyone else, and I'm like, yeah, jumping around. And then and just as it was like going back, Harry looks at me and Amy was like to me and her, and we were like, oh my god. And it was so much fun. And then because Harry was on our side, and then it was like Zayn or something, then Liam. I remember Niall was the other side, but I can't remember because it was like such a blur. And then they went back and they went down, and they sang What Makes You Beautiful, and all the confetti came down. It was so cool, like this big, all this yellow like confetti was like everywhere. It was so good. And then oh yeah, and then they sang the new single Live While We're Young. That was so good because everyone knew the words. And then as they were going off, we were like, everyone was like, the whole place erupted. It was so good. And then there's all this confetti. It was like still on the stage. It was like covering the stage. So, and as they were running off, they were like running, and Harry like skidded and all on like the confetti. I thought it was gonna fall over, and then Zayn was like running around the edge because he left his jacket or something, and he ran on the edge and nearly fell over. Literally, he was like falling all over the place, like skidding all over the place. I literally thought he was gonna fall over, and everyone was like, I couldn't stop laughing. I felt so mean, but I just could not stop laughing. It was so funny. And they went off, and then we were like, quickly, we want to see them leave. And we was right, literally. I was like there, and there's a little exit door right a few steps down from me. And then we went out the top of the stairs, down the stairs, and there's an exit, and right by the exit was where the One Direction were coming out. So literally we ran down, and literally just as we was like out the door, they had a video of One Direction saying, oh, One Direction are leaving now, blah, blah, blah. And like showing a video of One Direction getting into a car and driving off. But we were like, what? So I literally was in the door, so I went and looked at the door, and they hadn't left yet, and everyone was waiting. And it was like, that was waiting just like a decoy to like think they'd left, but they actually hadn't left. They were actually still there. So, and we waited outside for ages and ages and ages, but then they didn't come outside. And then yeah, then we went to Nando's. We got in the car, there's Nando's, and on the way to Nando's there was these girls, and we hired this big silver van, had black top windows, and everyone thought we were One Direction. So they were like banging on the window and like running up. It was so funny. Then we had Nando's, and it was very good. And then we went home. And that's pretty much my One Direction experience for Sunday. It was amazing though. If you guys didn't go this year, make sure you get tickets next year because it's so good. So good. Hopefully One Direction go next year as well because they seem to like this thing. Okay guys, lots of love.